Hey everyone, welcome back to another YouTube video. And in this YouTube video, I'll show you how to create this hoodie flyer step by step in Canva. So first you need to go to a blank design page. Next, you'll need to upload your subject, which would be your hoodie in this case, or you could upload any type of clothing that you would like to use. So I'll just upload my hoodie and I'll add it to my design page. So I'll increase the size of my hoodie so that it could be in the center of my design page. All right, so ensure that you position it to the center of your design page like so. Next, what I'll do is I'll go to position and then I'll go to background. So what I'll do next is I'll change the color of the background to pink. So I'll go to color and then I'll select a color that was referenced by Canva from our hoodie. So I'll select this pastel gray pink. Next, I'll go to document colors and I'll double click on the color that I just selected and I'll make it a bit lighter. All right, like so. All right, so this looks lovely so far. So next, what I'll do is I'll just lock the hoodie so that the position won't change as I edit my design. Next, what I'll do is I'll just add a new page, and on the new page, I'll just change the color of the page to white. Next, I'll go to elements and I'll add a circle like so. You'll just increase the circle to basically be in the center of the page, all right? Or what you could do is you could just go drag your circle up to the first design page like so, page number 1. All right, so we can just drag it up to design page number 1 and we could place it over our hoodie like so that you could see how big the circle would be in comparison to your hoodie. What you could do now is just change your color of your shape to white, and then once you're happy with the size of it in proportion to the hoodie, then we could just drag it back down to page number 2. All right, so I like it like this so far. And the reason why we're doing this is because we want to ensure that we can convert this circle to an image so that we could blur our circle and add it to the design in page 1. All right, so I'll put this circle right here, position in the center of the page, and I'll just change the background of page number 2 to black. All right, so let's just go to position, select the background, change the color to black like so. So once it's changed to black, you can see our white circle here. What we'll do next is we'll click share and then we'll go to see all, then we'll click on copy to clipboard. Once we have it copied to our clipboard, we'll click on copy to clipboard right here. All right, now we can delete page number 2, and what we'll do next is we'll just paste our design, our image that we just copied from page number 2 to page number 1 like so. Once it's copied to page number 1 like so, you could just position it to cover the entire design page. So increase the size to cover the design page. And next what you'll do is you click on background remover to remove the black area. Once the black area has been removed, what you'll do is you'll go to edit, click on edit. In the tool section, click on see all, and then you click on blur. Then you click on whole image, and then you'll increase the intensity to just about 80%. All right, and then you'll close the blur tool. Next, what you'll do is you'll turn down the transparency of the circle that we just blurred. We could turn it down to about 70%. Right, so now it's about 70%. We're happy with that so far. So we'll go to position and then we'll just drag our circle behind our hoodie like so. All right, so what it did, it's creating a gradient behind our hoodie, which is a nice effect for this design. So next, what we'll do is we'll add a text. So go to the left hand toolbar and then you add a text box. And in our text box, we'll type hoodie. So let's type hoodie in our text box and we'll type it in capital letters. So hoodie, like so. And then we'll increase the size of our text and we'll highlight our text and we'll change our font color to white. Once we completed that, we'll change our font style to a tall font style. So let's type in tall and we'll use the tall font, all right, like so. So once you already change your font style, just increase your size of your font like so. All right, you could just drag the corner to increase the size, or you could increase the size using this tool right here, which is font size. You could hit the plus sign to increase. All right, so I'll just increase it a bit more. All right, and what I'll do is I'll just position it up at the top of the hoodie like so, and I'll ensure that it's in the center of the page. All right, so I'm happy with that. What we're going to do next is we're going to move the font to the back of the hoodie. So we'll go to position and we'll just drag our font to the back of the hoodie. So our text box has been moved to the back of the hoodie. It's behind the hoodie, and we could now lock the position of this element or layer. So let's lock the circle as well that we just added. Once we have done that, what we'll do next is we'll add a text below here. So below our hoodie, we'll add a text that says new arrival. So go to text, add a text box, and then we'll just increase the size so that we could see, and we'll type, let's type new arrivals. All right, so you could just put the first letter in capital letter, and then the other letters could be in lower case. All right, so we have our text typed. We could change the font color now. So highlight your text, go to text color, change it to white, and then we're going to change the font style, and we're going to type in droid serif. Click it right here, so you can see droid serif. Select droid serif, and we'll now position our text like so, but we'll decrease the size just a bit. All right, so I'm decreasing it to about 64. Yes, so I'm happy with that font size for now, and I'll position it to the center of my design page, just below our hoodie. All right, so I'm happy with that. So what we'll do next is we'll go to elements, and in elements we'll type in circle shadow. So we're going to add a shadow below our hoodie. So if you go to graphics, click see all, and we'll use this one right here. So once I've added that, what I'll try to do is I'll try to make it the size of the length of the bottom area of the hoodie right here. So I'll just click on it, and I'll click the corner, and I'll resize it. All right, and I'll just measure it to ensure that the length of it is just the same as the bottom of the hoodie right here. And once I'm happy with that, I'll just drag it below right here, kind of like to the edge of the white, and I'll leave it there. What we could do next is we could turn down the transparency of it. So let's turn the transparency down a bit to possibly about let's say 65. So I'm happy with that. All right, and what it does, it creates a shadow, basically showing us that the hoodie is actually floating. All right, or the light source is above the hoodie as well. So let's just duplicate this, and we'll do the same for the wrist area of our hoodie. So let's just decrease the size so that it matches the wrist area of our hoodie. So I'll just zoom in like so, all right, so that we could see better. And what we could do is we could rotate it like this, all right, possibly to about -10 degrees, like so, and we could just measure the size and just decrease the size like so. All right, and then we could place it right here in line with our bigger shadow. So what I'll do next is I'll just duplicate it, and then I'll just bring it over to the right hand side, and I'll rotate this shadow about positive 10 degrees, just so that we have it similar to the opposite side. All right, so I'll place this right here to the side of the big shadow, and I think I'm happy with that so far. So let's just zoom out a bit. All right, so this looks good. So what we could do next is we could go back to elements, and then we can type in clouds. All right, white clouds. Let's type in white clouds. And then we can search that, and we can see some white clouds here. Let's just select this one, and we'll just increase the size of it like so, and then we can place it right here at the top right hand side of our hoodie, and we can duplicate it now, and then we can place one right here on the left hand side of our hoodie, all right, down at the wrist area. So once we've done that, what we could do is go to position, and then we can move these clouds behind our hoodie. All right, so let's move both of them behind our hoodie, and what we could do is we could add like a text up at the top right here. All right, so let's go to text, and let's add a text box, and we're gonna type in one goal, one dream. All right, so we're going to change the color. All right, we're going to change the font color of this. So let's just highlight our text like so, and then we're going to change the text color to white, and we're also going to change the font style to poppin. All right, so let's go with poppins. All right, so like so. So I'm going to decrease the size of this font. All right, and I'm going to place it up at the top of the hoodie. All right, this could be your brand or something, all right, or your slogan, your tagline. So let's just increase the size, extend it to reach from one edge to the next edge of hoodie, like so, and we can place it right here. All right, so I think I'm happy with that for now. So let's just zoom out. All right, so yeah, so this is our design. We've now created a design. We've now created a hoodie design using Canva. It's a quite simple design, but I think it's very effective for persons who would like to basically advertise their new arrivals or whatever type of clothing they might have. So if you like these type of videos and you would like to see more of these videos, definitely click like and subscribe. Also, if you would like to join my WhatsApp group where I have 2 free live sessions on Canva per month, you could join that as well. The link would be in the description. Also, you can check out my ebook, which is in the description as well. Or if you want to have a one-on-one with me so I could teach you how to design in Canva with confidence, you could click the link in the description area. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the next video. So stay tuned for more, and let me know in the comments if you like this video.